Hello and welcome to lesson 7.2 on complementary and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are when two angles added up equal 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are when two angles added up equal 180. When we were in class, we did the thing where complementary or complement is a nice thing to say to somebody. So we had complementary angles were 90 degrees because you didn't whack anybody. Supplementary angles had to be 180 degrees because when you did this, you'd whack your partner next to you. So that's how we kind of used kind of an activity to remember whether it was 90 or 180 degrees. And it takes two angles to be complementary and two angles to be supplementary. And the angles can either be together, in this case where they're together, or they can be apart, where in this case they're not. They're separate, they're not together. They're not adjacent, there's the word. So let's see, we're going to classify these angles. So if I take a 70-degree angle and I add it to a 110-degree angle, that's going to give me 180 degrees. Therefore, it's a supplementary angle. Now, if I take 49 and add it to 41, so if I have 49 and I add it, to 41, that equals 90 degrees. So therefore, it is a complementary angle. In these cases, you're tempted to kind of look at these two angles and say, oh yeah, that's close enough. That looks like it's a 90-degree angle. But unless it has the little square in here that tells you that it's 90 degrees, you actually have to add them to make sure that it is. This one, if we add 128 plus 62, we end up with, let's see here, 0, carry the 1. We end up with 190-degree angles. So, 90 degrees, that doesn't go there, it goes there. So there is neither. Okay, so why don't you pause me for a second and do the on your own and see whether you're right or wrong. Welcome back. So if I add these two together, I end up with, let's see here, 26 plus 64. That's 10, 6, 8, 90 degrees. So those are complementary. If I add those up, I get 44 plus 136. That ends up being 180 degrees, so that's supplementary. If I add these up, I end up with 89 degrees, and that's close, but it's neither. All right, let's see what else we can do with these. Let's go to the next page. So using complementary and supplementary angles, we can use knowing that these are complementary angles because there's the 90-degree mark. So I know if I take this angle A and I add it to angle B, I know that angle A plus angle B is equal to 90 degrees. And if I know that, I can therefore take these and say 4x plus 36 is equal to 90 degrees. And now I just have a two-step equation, so I can figure it out that way. So if I subtract 36 from both sides, I end up with 4x is equal to, I'm going to borrow 4, that's 54. Divide both sides by 4, and I end up, my trusty little calculator here, 54 divided by 4, I get 13.5 degrees. 13, whoa, didn't really mean to do that. So I'm going to undo, end up with 13.5 degrees. I know that if I have angle A here and angle B here, if I add A plus B, because they're on a straight line, it means that they have to add up to be 180 degrees. So I take x and I add it to x, subtract 4, and that has to equal 180 degrees. So I add 4 to both sides. I'm going to kind of cheat and combine those two x's at the same time. So 2x is equal to 184. Divide both sides by 2. End up with x is equal to 92 degrees. So x has to equal 92 degrees. The rest of this is how to construct an angle. And I'm going to find a video online to show you how to draw angles, and we'll use that one instead of me. So thanks for listening.